In an odd turn of events and presumably an environment where there has been a drift between the hole that Ayushmann Khurrana has with the audience from having such an unbreakable bond before the pandemic, we are seeing his third venture that is mostly going unnoticed and is barely being recognized for its creative effort. What is being dismissed with low-hanging fruit criticism like slow tha, thoda engaging hua, fight sequence acha tha, shocking climax tha, par theek tha, needs to be really corrected, as from a pure film fan perspective, an action hero is so much more than that. This is the case of some trade experts and Twitter influencers already knowing that a film is not going to do exceedingly well financially and be protected under the garb of calling out average movies. But in an era where monetary success is immediately equated to effective and impressive storytelling, one needs to acknowledge that in the history of cinema, there are many cases where these two elements don't go hand in hand. Not only is an action hero original, creative, and hilarious, but it provides a meta and effective commentary on public perception, fueled hatred, and the fickle nature of the world we live in today. With the fresh and interesting casting of Ayushmann and the talented Jaideep Ahlawat, the movie focuses on a popular actor Manav Khurrana played by Ayushmann, who is being chased by Bura Solanki played by Jaideep, the assumption being that Manav was responsible for the death of Bura's brother Vicky when he came to shoot in their locality in Haryana. The cat and mouse chase that follows with several references of the current predicament that the Hindi film industry and the general public with the influence of news media finds itself in forms the basic crux of this extremely entertaining, layered and smart film which currently has very few takers in theatres. This is not a case of me trying to blame the audience for not acknowledging the clever nature with which this story has been presented and is going unnoticed, but to spread the word that a film that presumably just came across as any other venture with the trailer and its songs is far more superior than what meets the naked eye. When you think about terms like meta films that get flung around to describe movies that have been cleverly written, it entails a creative approach taken with films where the characters, the world and its writing is extremely self-aware that the public has stepped in for a movie. And while Phone Booth and Bedia have throwaway jokes to reference the same, an action hero is far superior in its writing and its consistency of the same theme. The film highlights the narcissistic traits of actors, the ivory towers in which they live and the echo chamber that they surround themselves with. The case of celebrities basking in the glory of the mania that surrounds them, and how they drink the Kool-Aid of their own perception and adulation that is showered upon them, almost perceiving one is better than those who shower love towards them. This gets highlighted from the first frame of our real hero who's doing a plank as he is getting interrogated, picking up a baby as he answers questions from the media, playing to the gallery knowing how he is being perceived, flinging social responsibility sermons as if he ever cared about anything other than his career. An entire set of technicians look on as their hero struggles to be angry for an action scene. Ayushmann in several scenes gives a death stare to his subordinates and secretary if his whims and fancies are not immediately met with a nod or a yes. It just highlights the system set in place for stars and how they almost become like headless chickens when it's snatched away from them. There was a perception from the trailer that Jaideep Ahlawat may absolutely steal the scenes in this film, being in his Haryanvi intimidating element, but both him and Ayushmann bounce off of each other perfectly. A man consumed by rage and only having the goal of ultimate revenge, and a man on the run, not knowing his next step, only improvising as the screenplay takes us along with him. The film is absolutely hilarious. No throwaway jokes, genuinely organic and clever. The male ego and the lengths it is willing to take someone to reprimand anyone for the slightest inconvenience. The incompetence of the police in charge, hilariously introduced with the lines, "हरियाणा में दारू पीने का मजा ही कुछ और है. खुली सड़क, सफेद फॉर्च्यूनर, सड़क किनारे लाश." An interaction with the police investigating the case and a DOP had me in splits, but nothing beats their interaction with the media, almost coaxing the journalists to do their job for them. The case of hate-fueled journalism only having a vendetta against the film industry, constantly putting the pressure on maligning each element of it, only so that their coffers get filled for views, account for several hilarious moments. How the vultures wait to notice public discourse only to pounce on it to mimic and echo their same sentiments, but with even more inflammatory language and accusations based on nothing but just the cushioning that they will be martyrs in the public eye. A certain primetime character and his antics will lead to several laugh out loud moments. As the movie transitions to the United Kingdom, the fluff does take over the storytelling. You've got several adept sequences of parkour and hand-to-hand combat that takes over the running time and slows down the pace of the film. But the payoff is totally worth it in the introduction of a notorious character. One of the most refreshing qualities about an action hero is that it never deviates from its main plot while still being more than just a cat and mouse chase. The subplots are absolutely vital in adding layers to the main characters, and the constantly changing dynamics as the cat and mouse chase gets more exhilarating. Every element of the screenplay is assisted in providing new information so that we can have a deeper insight on this odd relationship. And even though this may be praised for the bare minimum, it comes across as a breath of fresh air that you don't have a break in the narrative for a romantic number. Oftentimes, when plots are at the thick of things, we see heroes even to this day take a break to caress each other's hair as they sing Arijit's soulful track. But an action hero's narrative does not have any time for that, and it absolutely benefits the film. Even an addition of an item song, quote unquote, is so cleverly added to the screenplay that you realize it's actually a fitting commentary on the existence of item songs, on how the purpose of these music numbers can be more than just to titillate the audience and can actually contribute to the story. A great case of clever and nuanced writing that many people are not acknowledging about this film. The manic state the media takes asking for someone's head and death with no basis or proof as the song Bach Ke Rehna Re Baba plays in the background is the slight insight I'm giving you of a movie experience you really don't want to miss. A narrative that never becomes preachy but is thought-provoking and thoroughly entertaining. A hilarious and resolute Jaideep Ahlawat takes the shape of Russians from a Guy Ritchie film, not willing to stop at any instance on his mission to catch Manav. The Jat strength and aura is at its peak, as the man throws insults like poetry, and Ayushmann bears the brunt of a lot of it, but with great conviction. It's original, clever, and grossly misrepresented on social media as a generic Bollywood film. In a time period where people are giving lectures about original storytelling, Anirudh Iyer delivers so well with this film, and there are no takers. Go figure. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about an action hero. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.